Hi everyone and welcome back to Thrifted Living. My name is Kieran. It's been a while since I've shared a video here on this channel and I just started sharing a little bit on my main Instagram page about how I haven't been really feeling that well lately, and so I shared on Instagram that I wanted to talk with you guys about what's been going on, and I decided to sort of film like a story time sit down kind of video with you guys here today and just let you know what's going on. Before I start the video, I know that I am really sensitive to like medical stuff, and I can be like, it usually makes me really anxious and kind of makes me struggle a bit more with my OCD. So I just want to let you know that in this video, I will be talking about medical stuff. I will be talking about how I've been feeling and different procedures and things like that. So if that is something that might be upsetting to you, feel free. You do not have to watch this video. Please don't feel like you have to watch this video. I'm also going to be updating on Instagram with more information, so if you don't want to sit and hear this, that's fine. You know, and I don't want to make anybody nervous because I don't really know exactly what's going on right now. And I don't want to say like it might be nothing, because I know that it is something, but I don't know the seriousness of it, if that makes sense. So I think I'll just start and tell you guys what's been going on. So I haven't been feeling well for a while. It's been several months that I've just been kind of not feeling great. I have been having a pain on my right side, like right near my ribs, right under my ribs. And I had my gallbladder actually removed when I was young. I was a kid when I had my gallbladder removed. But that's sort of like the feeling that it's been. It's sort of been this like cramping kind of ache kind of feeling, almost like I'm pinching something, if that makes sense. And so it's been bothering me for a while. And I just sort of was like, oh, you know, maybe it's scar tissue, maybe it's, you know, who knows what it could be. But it's just been bothering me a lot lately, and last week I ended up actually having to leave school early because I was in a lot of pain from it. I was having a hard time sitting down. It was just so uncomfortable. And so I called my doctor, and I was able to get into the doctor that day, which I'm so thankful for. So I was able to leave school early, and I was able to get an appointment. And so and I'm sorry if I'm telling this story fast. I guess I'm just kind of nervous to talk with you guys about this because I don't really talk about this kind of stuff with you all. I don't know why I don't. I really haven't shared a lot of that kind of stuff, but maybe I will start sharing this kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm like shaky, kind of nervous about it. I don't know why, but anyway. So yeah, so I was able to get into the doctor, and he was, you know, I was telling him what was going on and everything, and he was like, okay, well, we'll look into that, but you know, let me listen to your heart and lungs and everything like that, as part of, you know, they do blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. And he was listening to my heart, and he kind of was like just listening for like a little bit longer than normal. And he was like, do you know you have a murmur? And I was like, no. He's like, has anybody ever told you that? And I was like, no, I've never been told that I have a heart murmur. And he kind of explained it a little bit to me. So, you know, we need to look into that. So he ordered some blood work, and he ordered an echocardiogram, which is an ultrasound of your heart. And he also ordered an ultrasound of my abdomen, because that was what brought me to the doctor in the first place. Like, that was why I went to get help in the first place, was this pain in my side. And so I left the office, and of course, like, you know, I'm very nervous and everything. Like, I, you know, just had this little pain in my side, and now I have, you know, an issue with my heart, or like a murmur or something. You know, I didn't really know what it was. I didn't really understand that. Because I had never been told that I had that before. So I called Sean, of course, and he like calmed me down and everything, talked to my mom, and they calmed me down, and I went and did blood work right then. So I went down and did the blood work, and several hours later, and I went down to the hospital and did blood work, and then several hours later he called back, and he said, you know, I got the results of your blood work and you're anemic. So, which I'm not really surprised about, because I've been exhausted, just like so tired. I've been having a hard time like going up and down the stairs, mainly up the stairs. You know, I'm just like out of breath when I go up the stairs, which is not usual for me. Like, it's not something that I typically struggle with, especially like carrying something up the stairs. Like if I'm carrying laundry or something up the stairs, I'm like winded by the time I get up to the top of the stairs. So, you know, he said, you're anemic. We're going to have to look into that more, look into what your iron is and all that kind of stuff. You know, but the heart ultrasound and the abdomen ultrasound were scheduled for a few days later. You know, so he was like, we'll schedule an appointment after that, and we'll just talk about the results of those procedures at that point. So I had to wait several days, which is always hard. You know, you just want to get the information right away. I think the appointment was when he heard the murmur. I think that was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. Yeah, and then it was I had to wait the whole weekend, and then just this past Wednesday or Tuesday, I can't remember. That's when I had the procedures, the ultrasounds. And so I went down for those. I keep on saying went down. I went to the hospital, it's downtown. So I went to the hospital, and I had the procedures, and those were nerve-wracking on their own. I've had ultrasounds before because I said earlier I had my gallbladder removed, so I know what an abdominal ultrasound is like and everything. I had never had an echo done before, but it was fine, you know. But the abdominal ultrasound was really nerve-wracking because there was a student doing the procedure, which is fine. I'm totally fine to have a student, you know, do that. But she did the whole procedure, and then she actually was like, okay, I need to call somebody else in here. And I was like, okay, like, because you're thinking, okay, they must have found something. And then the teacher, I'm assuming that's like what you would call her, like the teacher or the, like her mentor or whatever, she came in and did the whole thing again. So I was like freaking out. I was so nervous. I started crying. Luckily, Sean was in the room with me and he held my hand because I was starting to have a panic attack because I was like, okay, they must have found something, you know, otherwise why are two people, you know, performing this procedure? I just had the procedure, and then, you know, I was like, okay, we'll just wait and see. And so I went, it was like I had that done in the morning, I think, and then I took a half day from school and I was able to go back for the second half of the day. But of course, all you're thinking about is like, what's going on, you know, like what did they find and everything. And later on that evening, maybe around 5 or so, I got a call from the doctor, and I was like, because I actually had an appointment scheduled for the following day. So I was like, okay, I'll just, you know, hear the results the following day. But he called that night, and I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, hi, how's it going? You know, he was like, he's told me that the results of the ultrasound from my abdomen were clear. There were no abnormal findings on that, which surprised me because, you know, I've been having this abdominal pain. So I was certain that they were going to find something, you know, from that, whether it was like scar tissue from my gallbladder surgery or I don't know, a hernia maybe. I don't really know what they could have found, but it just was certain they were going to find something. And he was like, you know, there were no abnormal findings for that. But he said, you know, there were some findings with your heart. And so this is like the part where I talk about, you know, specifically what the diagnosis is. And I'm literally just going to be giving you guys the information I have now. I don't understand the diagnosis. I am going to be following up with a specialist. So just anything that I say right now, I don't really know what I'm talking about. But I just wanted to let you know that before I share this information. So he said that during the echo, they found that I believe it's called a bicuspid aorta. So pretty much a normal aorta has 3 flaps or cusps, I think that they're referred to as, and mine only has 2. And that is something from birth defect. And from the research that I've done, it's a very common birth defect. And yeah, so it's nothing like, you know, it's something that's very common. So pretty much I have 2 flaps when you're supposed to have 3, which is in turn causing something called aortic stenosis, which I believe is a tightening or like a narrowing of the aorta. And I don't really understand what any of it really means, and I'm only laughing because like I feel like I went in for stomach pain and I came out with a heart issue. And I'm just laughing because it was just so like jarring, I guess. You just don't expect it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like you go in for one thing and then like something else comes up. So it's almost like I feel like, you know, I'm happy that I was able to find this out. I'm happy that, you know, I was able to get this information now. But it's just, it's surprising, you know? And so I'm going to be following up with a cardiologist. I have an appointment scheduled for that. Kind of like the information that the doctor was giving me and some of the research I've been doing is that if you have this diagnosis, depending on the severity of it, it's something that you like follow, I guess. Like, so I might have to go to the cardiologist every year and have an echo done just to check like the status of the stenosis. And I asked, you know, is it something that I can reverse? You know, can I improve the quality of the aorta and the narrowing? The information he was giving me is saying like, no, it's not something that can be reversed. But at some point down the road, many, many years down the road, you know, if needed, I might have to have like valves replaced. But that's not something that is of concern, at least at this point. And I have what they're calling mild aortic stenosis. So it's not, there are different like varying levels of that, and mine is mild. So yeah, it just has been like a real shock. You know, I still don't have answers on the pain in my stomach, which is still there. But I think we're just gonna, you know, we're kind of taking it one thing at a time, I guess. You know, and I just wonder how much all of this is related, you know. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been to a neurologist. I will be working with a cardiologist, you know, all of these things. I'm just wondering how much all of this is. I've seen eye specialists. I've been to the emergency room with eye issues. I'm just wondering if at the end of the day, if all of this is somehow related. And again, I don't know. And I really, like, don't take any medical advice from me, you know, because I'm not a doctor, but I'm just curious, like, how much of all of this is connected, you know, like, and yeah, and like, I don't know, it's nerve-wracking because I don't fully understand it. Just have so many questions. I don't have my cardiology appointment for a little bit. I'm trying to take it easy. I'm trying to not get like stressed or anxious. Yeah, right. Like I'm anxious all the time. This makes me anxious, you know? But like, I'm trying to just stay cool and relaxed. You know, I'm asking Sean to help me bring things up and down the stairs. I'm trying to like not, you know, go up all the stairs at once. Like if I'm in the basement, I'll come up to the first floor, take a break, then go up the rest of the way. And I mean, it feels like it all kind of makes sense, you know, because like I just haven't been feeling well for a while. And like, I feel like when he said that, you know, that there is something going on with my heart, like it just felt like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because I've had multiple brain MRIs. I've had, you know, EEGs, and I've had, you know, situations where I've had like a take home, a 72-hour EEG. I've been seeing eye specialists. And again, I don't know that this is all connected, but like, what if like it has an impact on everything, you know? And it's sort of just like this, the root of like a larger concern, or like the larger concern that is like the base of so many other things that I'm experiencing. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have that piece of information. I'm nervous because I don't know what it means. I feel okay right now. I'm trying to just, like I said, I'm trying to like not stress myself out too much and just trying to be relaxed. I haven't had as much of the pain in my side recently. I have had it, but it hasn't been as bad as like what brought me into the doctor. You know, but yeah, I just feel like like I got some answers, but I just have way more questions now. And I know I'm like laughing and kind of like joking around a little bit, but like that's kind of how I deal with things sometimes. So you know, I hope I'm not like offending anybody by just sort of like my casual nature when it comes to this, because it is serious and I'm scared. I've done some research, you know, looking on Google, which I don't suggest, especially if you have anxiety about medical stuff. But I wanted, you know, when he gave me the diagnosis that, you know, they found on the ultrasound, on the echocardiogram, that, you know, I wanted to look it up. I wanted to see what it meant, you know, like I wanted to like do some research and just kind of give myself like some perspective on what I could expect and what I, you know, should need to know about it. You know, and yeah, it's hard, you know, just because you want to know everything, but of course you have to wait for an appointment, you know. I'm trying to be like aware of like pain that I'm having or shortness of breath or, you know, chest pain or anything like that. But, and it's also like, I think it's also because this is like a birth defect, like it's sort of like that it's sort of that like realization that like, I don't know, like your body isn't what you thought it was, if that makes sense. Like you think, oh, like your heart is fine, you know, but like it turns out I've had a defect since birth, you know, that I had no idea about. That's just what like what's mind blowing to me, is that I had no idea. And maybe when I talk to the cardiologist, maybe the doctor will be like, yeah, these are all symptoms that people with this specific condition experience, and so it's like a normal thing. So it's just sort of like not like an identity crisis, but like kind of, I guess, in a way, because you're like, oh, okay, I have this thing with my heart. It's like a birth defect, which I had no idea. And I hope I'm saying it right. Like I said, a lot of this I've learned from Google, which I'm not saying is the best thing, but also there are some like reputable websites that, you know, you can trust more than others for this kind of information. As I said, I'm going to be having an appointment with a cardiologist coming up, and after that, I will definitely give you guys more specific information, like what they're saying, you know, what the cardiologist says about it. But as of right now, prior to going to a cardiologist and just doing my own research, I believe that it's a birth defect, that the valves, the bicuspid valves instead of tricuspid valves, that is a birth defect. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think that that might be causing the mild aortic stenosis. That's my understanding as of right now. But I don't know for sure. And I don't know how the being anemic plays into it. You know, I don't know. I'm hoping that this gives me answers, and I'm hoping that, you know, I'm hoping that there is some treatment to help with symptoms, you know, that I'm experiencing that are related to my heart. So I don't know. I guess if I could give you any advice, and not like you necessarily want my advice or need my advice, but you know, just listen to your body, listen to your gut if it's telling you something. Don't put things off. You know, if you feel like something's not right, I feel like I kind of put things off. And also like advocate for yourself. You know, say, don't be afraid to like fully share all of your symptoms. Don't be afraid to seek out that information and you know, go to the professionals that can help you with this stuff. Do it sooner than later. You know, because it's you, and you are important, and you deserve it. You deserve that information. You deserve to take care of yourself. And I'm kind of talking to myself, I guess, in a sense. But yeah, I can't believe I've been talking for 23 minutes. Oh my gosh. But that's sort of what's going on right now, guys. I wish I could give you more specific information. Again, I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional in any way. Please do not take my information as, you know, research or a scholarly opinion. It is not. You know, if you have concerns about your own health, seek medical advice on your own, and do that as soon as you can. And I just want to say thank you all so much for your support and encouragement. And I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful that I was able to go and find this out, and I'm thankful that I was able to go get help, and that I'm sort of going to be figuring this out. You know, if you have any questions in the comments below, because of my OCD and my anxiety, I might delete certain things, and not because I don't want to hear what you guys have to say, but it might be making me really anxious, or I might be afraid it's making other people anxious. So if I end up deleting any of your comments, don't take it personally, please. It's me, and it's my anxiety, you know. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope to share more with you guys here on what's going on, how I'm feeling. I'll definitely be sharing an update after I go to the cardiologist to see what the plan will be moving forward. And yeah, thank you all so much for listening to my story, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.